Hello, folks. Welcome back to Unfiltered. I had this guest just a few weeks ago, and there's a guest that you know, the indomitable, the indefatigable, and he will add the most insulted. But the fact is, this man, I think, he has changed the face of polling for elections. Why? Because he's spot on. And he's here today. Anyway, he was here with me a few weeks ago, and he told me then he had done some polls, and Bawumia was in the lead in terms of MPP flag bearership. Bawumia was the person in the lead. But he also told me that there were a few people who hadn't decided, and there were a few that were, still swinging. So, as at the time, Bawumia was in the lead, but he promised me that there is yet to come a final poll. And he assured me that when that final poll comes up, he's going to put his neck on the line and declare. Well, it's here again, for those of you who do not know who I'm talking about. I don't know why, but it's the great Musa Dankwa. Boss, welcome back again to the show.
Thank you.
And as you promised us, when you come back, you're going to put your neck on the line and call the winner for the MPP flag bearership race. So, first of all, is your neck ready to go on the line?
Yes, I have my neck.
It's on the line?
It's on the line, yes.
And folks, just so you know, there's another pole out there. That's a spiritual. In Ghana, we have the pole that is spiritual. You know how God is very, very interested in Ghanaian elections. One time I said that I have a feeling that God has the Ghana card, because the election began, he plays an active role. So we were told, some prophet told us that God had actually told him one-on-one that no matter what happens in this world, if Kennedy doesn't win, then he's not God.
On the 31st of January 2026, it shall be declared that Honorable Kennedy Ohene Ejapong has won.
Today, the angel said, I should tell you face to face that on the 31st of January 2026, the number you pick during balloting that has made this as your symbol after the election, this will be your position.
Now, my friend here, Musa, you are aware of the spiritual prophecy as well.
Yes, I am.
You are?
I am.
And you're putting your neck on the line to say that your data still is Bawumia.
Yes, I'm absolutely. In fact, we've increased the confidence level in this poll to 99.9%.
99.9. He's winning. Flat out.
Yes. The poll shows that Bawumia is going to win one touch.
One touch?
Yes.
Wow.
The headline poll suggests he's on 48%. Brian or Ken on 25%. Brian on 6%. Edichum on 1%. But 21% said they will not disclose.
Still won't disclose?
They will disclose. But remember, for MPP race, you need 50% plus 1. So Bawumia is just 2% away from that 50%. But what we have done is to look through the numbers and give a model that goes into the heart of the delegates' mind.
Wow. What happened to Kennedy, who seemed that, well, maybe he said he was now a reformed person, and some actually bought it. What happened?
I think everything was going normal for him in the poll. Consistently, he was doing okay, not winning, but he was very competitive. Until we saw the tantrum that was thrown earlier.
I've never seen a liar like our former flag bearer on air. He's a liar. Say, Edubuahin, one contested because not Oya. This man is a liar. Today I tell you he's a liar. You shouldn't vote for a liar. A man who is lying to have power. Wow.
And that has really cost him. I said to myself, you don't need this kind of publicity in the last weeks of the campaign. You know, when you're running a campaign, those who are undecided, not disclosing, undecided, sometimes they want to see how disciplined the campaign is, how well the campaign is organized, and then they look at this, oh, I think this guy deserves it. Now, when they are in the middle of that decision, and you throw in something that they're not happy with, you pay the price. And I think that's what Ken must have suffered from.
So the reaction was immediate?
Was very immediate. We normally do our calls from Monday to Friday. I think the incident occurred on Monday, and Tuesday social media was awash with that recording, that video, and immediately we saw the numbers begin to tank among the delegates. The last count we did, in terms of favorability rating, Bawumia is 93% net.
93%
net. Kennedy is 85%, and Brian is 86%, 1 point above Kennedy. And that is the reaction from
Brian is above Kennedy now?
In terms of favorability.
Favorability.
Not vote.
Okay. Wow. Who advises Kennedy?
I don't know.
He's never sought your advice?
No.
Well, when politicians come to you for advice, are you able to give them advice, or you're supposed to be a neutral arbiter so you don't give any advice?
When it comes to advice, we don't give you advice, but we tell you the implication with the data. Oh, this is what's wrong with you. If you don't find antidote to it, this could be the situation. I won't tell you which antidote you need to take. That is for advices.
So you know that you have to take an antidote, but that's for you to decide.
Yes.
Wow. Let's say if, for some strange reason, God comes through, and Bernard, and if he's listening to me, I'd like to host you if your prophecy comes through. Would you sit side by side with him?
I'll be happy to do that. But usually, I don't like to have a banter with people. I mean, I talk with data, and even if you watch me, normally I don't go on political shows where there are politicians arguing across the table. I just go in, deliver my data, and walk away. Yes.
Yeah. It's because you know the data is speaking for itself. You don't need to do anything. So you just hand over the data and you're gone.
Yes.
So as we sit here, you're putting your neck on the line that...
Not just me, including the team that are sitting here with me.
The whole team?
Yes.
The team is in the house, man. Show them some love, man. The team is in the house, and wow, they are all put their nice little necks on the line.
In fact, before I came here, I asked them, I went around to the office and asked them who is winning, and they were saying the same thing. But they were the ones on the phone making the calls and talking to people. So they know what they've been hearing. I just aggregate what they've been told and present it.
Let's just discuss this. Did Kennedy ever have a chance? Because he seemed to be doing so well.
No, I've never thought he had a chance.
You never thought he had a chance?
No, because of the demography of the MPP delegates. I've always said it. I remember I met his team some time back, and I said, look, once the album is that album, there's no way you're going to win.
What is about the demography of the delegates?
The age profile of the delegates.
Oh.
And their level of education. I mean, the current poll shows that nearly 42% of all delegates have junior high as their highest level of qualification.
Junior high. Wow. So that means what?
That means the level of intellectual debate you could engage with delegates will have to be moderated You have to come down to their level. That's why certain messages, certain notions, certain concepts stick in their head.
I would have thought that Kennedy's appeal was to that group, because he gets raw, he gets sometimes unfiltered.
No. They have GSS as their highest qualification, but they're not young, they are old.
Okay.
They're not young, they are old. A lot of them are between 35 and 54. A very big chunk. Very big chunk.
And that age group range is more favorable for
yes, Bawumia. They don't want they don't like destabilization. They are risk averse. They want certainty. So radicalism and being a kind of Trump-like doesn't sell well in that group. Yes.
And so Bawumia is seen as more moderate, more tempered, more calm.
Actually, if you look at the polls we just released, we asked them what qualities, are they looking at for to see in the candidate they are trying to vote for, and humble, somebody who can unite the party. Somebody who can win, a fighter, and other factors. Then we looked at those who mentioned those criteria. How are they voting? And you realize that Bawumia is leading on all the criteria, all the qualities we've mentioned, except the fighter.
Okay.
So it tells you that on every measure that they are using to select a candidate, Kennedy is struggling all but one of them.
But he was seen as a fighter, though.
Yeah, he's seen as a fighter. That's why he's leading among those who said fighter was an important thing to them. And that number is not huge, it's very small.
So
for example, let's quickly have a look.
Yeah.
I mean, 23% of the delegates say they want somebody who can win the election for them, followed by somebody who cares about the grassroots, about 17%. 16% said somebody who can bring change. And then another 16%, somebody who can unite the party. And then trustworthy, at 11%. Humble, 8%. Other factors, 7%. Only 2% mention fighter. And that is the only group that he leads in. And if you lead in 2%, you're not doing anything.
Wow, that's quite interesting. Only 2% said fighter.
Yes.
Because I was listening to some of the, his spokespeople on radio, TV, and that was one thing that, hey, we are at the stage where we need a fighter. And actually, that is what Ghanaians are looking for now. Ghanaians want a fighter. Pardon this word that I'm going to use now, Atechia used a word I can't use on air, but it's MF. That he's somebody that can easily use MF. And I heard some of his campaigners or supporters arguing that that's what Ghanaians are looking for. They're looking for somebody who can roll out the MF word and bring in order and discipline. So that was so way off the target.
Look, if you look at the presidents we've had in this country in the past, Rawlings was that kind of military person because his military background. After Rawlings, who did we have? Kufuor. Calm character, measured. And then you have Atta Mills. Calm character, measured. Then you have Nana Addo in between. And then you have Mahama, calm and measured. On the balance of probability, which personality do Ghanaians prefer?
Calm and measured. Wow. So you hear people who will, for example, say, Jem is fine, but all I'm ready to, there's no fighter in Jem.
What is it that we have to fight?
Well, for example, good example, like the slow pace of this looting issue and blah, blah, blah. And people are saying,
No, you need a minister who is a fighter, not the president.
Okay. The minister should fight.
Yes.
And the president should take him. Charlie, I'm going to politics, you know. This is what coming your way, man. The president shouldn't be fighters, the ministers.
Yes.
I see. I thought I had many fighters though. You know, Want Me, Abronye, name them. He had
and my uncle Amakwata.
Yes. They didn't fight hard enough.
They were fighting the wrong fight.
They're fighting the wrong fight. Okay, so let's move on now a bit. Inherently I believe in science and I believe in numbers too. So of course I believed you, you know, and even when the prophets were very, very strong on the fact that they had one-on-one with God, I still had my own, you know. So now that is settled, I hope. Let's move on further to the NDC camp, because also your polls have said that no matter what, Bawumia will do or say, he cannot win against any of the NDC candidates, which can use, by the way, can use your data. Say, well, the data says Bawumia will win, and the data also says that he won't win against the NDC. Do you still stand by that?
I mean, yes, I still stand by those data that we collected in the December. Look, as I said, MPP is in a very difficult situation right now. And there are candidates of the NDC who do extremely well against any of the MPP candidates. And there are those that would perform marginally well. And those marginally well may not be what NDC will present to MPP. So if NPP is presented with the strongest NDC candidate, it will be very tough for them. Very, very tough for them.
Is the bottom line not how much or to the extent to which JM will deliver?
Yes.
If JM delivers and everyone says, wow, he's delivered.
So the poll numbers you see is based on what people have seen NDC perform, and those people perform as well as ministers. So once the number gets bad, their poll numbers will begin to tank. So they owe it to the president and themselves to perform. You have to have a very, very good chance of winning the next election. If they don't perform, then we're going to have a very close fight, even though they may have upper hand, unless they perform as bad or worse than MPP in the last 4 years.
And I said that would be a very difficult feat to. I'm sorry for the bias, but that would be very, very difficult to do worse. That would be very difficult.
You never know politicians, you never disappoint. But I mean, for John Mahama, I don't think he's going to do that mistake.
Yeah.
But nobody gets this kind of second chance in this country. Right?
Yeah.
And I think he's cherished that chance, and he's not going to mess up with it.
From where you're sitting, are there any data that suggest how, I call it Mahama 1 and Mahama 2, the transition from Mahama 1 and Mahama 2, do you have any data that explains the new Mahama that is best on the scene that seems so far to be on track?
No, we didn't exist then. We just existed. Yes. But in fact, this morning I was watching a TikTok and I saw a video of him on the campaign trail that said, losing power taught him a few things. And having to sit back, reflect on what he did right and what he did wrong, enabled him to know what to do when he came back. So he learned very good lessons.
So he learned.
He knows exactly what he needs to do.
I will be a much better president than even the first time when I was president. One, because of the experience that I've been president before. And two, because I have had the opportunity to reflect on my period of time as president. And it gives me a focus on the things that we need to do to turn around the fortunes of our country as quickly as possible.
I think that is what is helping him do what he's doing. And also with maybe young ministers who are also energetic, also ambitious. So, and they are all young ministers. So they have no reason not to perform.
It will be quite disappointing to find, because we've heard it out. You are old, me, catch me, sit back now. Let the young ones come and perform. So it'll be, I think, very, very sad reflection on you, the young ones out there. If you don't perform, I mean, what reason do you have not to perform?
According to the polling data, about 58% of Ghanaian voters want the country to elect younger leaders. So if these guys are performing, they make a strong case, and say, look, they are delivering compared to the old ones we had in the past. So let's keep trying the young people. So, and that's going to be one of the difficulties that the old candidates will face in the future. The young people are very brutal and unforgiving.
They're brutal and unforgiving.
No. They have no sympathy.
We're talking about, the young people. So let me stay on the young people for a while. These young ones that are coming, unlike our time, there were names. The politics was branding. If you Buzia tradition, if you Dankwa Buzia tradition, if you Nkrumah tradition, if you Rollins, we're going with brands for the politics. These days, these young ones, are they still? Does branding work with them now, or what's their brand now?
No, the branding works, but they are attracted to a brand that is meeting their interest. Once the brand is promoting their interest, they think you are giving them what they want, they will go to you. If you misbehave, they will leave that brand and go somewhere else.
So it's not like before when people saw their loyalty to Midemi and Nkrumah. It's not like that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So what should the politicians learn from this?
They should learn to be dynamic. They should learn to make their party attractive, and they should learn to address the needs and aspirations of the young people and in voters in general. Because if you are seen to be dealing with people's issues, they will dump their political, ethnic, and religious affiliation and really follow you.
How strong is the ethnic, religious sentiments? How strong is that among the youth now? And really,
among the youth, among the Gen Zs, and it's very weak. It's very weak. Even among the entire country, you see a bit more of the voters, around 8%, 10%, saying that ethnicity is important to them, and maybe slightly 1 or 2% lower when it comes to religion. So ethnicity is much stronger
than religion
when it comes to elections in this country. So we're getting to a point where the younger voters will have less attachment to religion and ethnicity. The older you are, the more conservative you are, the more you want to preserve the religious and ethnicity issues that you've harbored inside you for some time. But young people, now they are very pragmatic.
Is it wise for any politician to say, I'm targeting the youth, or that's the demographic that I'm targeting?
But you have no choice, because the youth is about 78% of the population. Who are you going to target?
Anyway.
If you target the old one, they won't get anything. So the game must change. You must target where the numbers are. The votes are in the age between 18 and say 40 years or 30-something years. That's where the numbers are. I mean, about 78% of Ghanaian voters are below 44 years.
So it's the youth that are voting.
Yes,
the youth that have the power.
Yes.
Youth, Ghana youth, I hope you are listening. And don't mess with the power that you have. Think before you make decisions. Don't mess with that power. They are very powerful.
Very powerful, very influential. Very influential. Yeah, the country has changed. Really changed.
Let me just pick on your brain, because you a poster, and you were actually inspired to get into this with American politics, right? Was that so I want us to take a quick look. The U.S., Jesse Jackson, he was the first black person to run and didn't do well at all.
He never
was
goes
it
far.
that the time was wrong, it was not his time, or was it that he didn't have what it takes?
No, you see, some people, when they run for presidency, they tend to run on single issues. The civil rights issues, discrimination, and you try to appeal to a small group of people who cannot make you a president. So he was running like a black candidate for black people.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Hey, that will not take you anywhere. If you have a broader base.
Obama was not running as a black candidate?
No, he wasn't a black candidate at all. No. He knew that I've finished his campaign. So he really stretched his base. He used his black roots to attract the black voters, and use his Caucasian route to attract the white people. Look, I'm one of you. And then also he made so much that he was able to attract even the Hispanic voters. And he became like a unifying candidate, who was able to bring so many races together to run a campaign. And that's why he won twice with ease. You can't run as a single issue candidate, appealing to a small block of people. I'm appealing to this group, that group, the traditional Nkrumahs, traditional UP, and traditional TDS. You won't go
anywhere. It doesn't work anymore.
You won't go anywhere. Even among the delegates you have, they are not cadres in that delegates. They are not UP people. No, they have moved on from that.
So I like that. They have moved on.
They have moved on.
Their thinking is different. Their direction is different.
Absolutely.
So now in Ghana politics, how strong is that factor now? Should politicians understand that we have moved on? There's no more allegiance to the Nkrumah or the Dankwa Buzia tradition, whatever. Have people really moved on?
They have moved on, and I think they have to realize that you can pick some inspiration from your roots, but that shouldn't be how you run your party in the future. The future is different from the past.
So pick that inspiration, but direct it towards...
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Inspiration, yes. History, yes. But going forward, Masa, look for where these guys are going and follow them.
Did it ever occur to you to be a politician?
No, I've never wanted to be a politician. I don't want to be one.
You don't want to be one?
No.
Really?
No, I don't want to be one. No, absolutely not.
How about a political advisor or strategist for a politician?
I think that I do.
That you do.
That I do. Sometimes for free. When I sit here and talk like this, it's strategy. People pay handsomely to get this kind of insight. But beside that, I serve my country, not a party. I serve the government. There are instances that I've worked for the government, the Republic, and there are instances that I've worked for the private sector, working in partnership with the government. So I believe I'm contributing enough in that regard, yes.
How proud are you of what you have done so far? Because polling in the past, there have been some pollsters, but unfortunately for them, whether true or not, it was also concluded that they were tainted in a way that you can actually pay for results. Have you encountered that?
They always try to come to you and say all sort of things. They come with money as well. They want to either do this, do that. But you see, when you work with data and people understand data, you can't falsify it.
Okay.
To falsify data, you need to go and falsify the raw data, the entire 1,000. It's tedious. But once you cannot do that, but if you do selective analysis, you will expose yourself to the same data. But the data will not talk to themselves. Contradictory. And look, if I say Bawumia is leading and is going to win, I can give you several reasons.
Okay.
That underpins that conclusion. But if you see somebody is winning, but the other data doesn't lend credence there's a trouble. There must be correlation between certain matrices you have in the data. I said Bawumia is going to win 14 regions. Kennedy will win 2 regions.
Can you win 2?
2, yes.
Only?
Yes. That's what we are seeing so far. You could look at other data that will confirm this. For example, do you share the belief that bringing candidate for the second time helps the party to win? Look at that responses by region. You can see that regions where Bawumia is winning, they will agree to the same. It confirms what they've told you in the end. So there's a lot of way that you can go through to really subject data to vigorous scrutiny, and that could expose you if you are lying. And because sometimes the way they do it, they just massage the top numbers. They can't go and massage the data itself. It becomes difficult.
Wow. So once I have you here, I want to just pick your brains on other issues, other factors that you pick or becomes part of your data that you're looking at. Is there anything that is out there somewhere that you can drop that will surprise all of us?
I think what I can say today is what we saw in the data from Tuesday, I think 19th or 20th, following an outburst by Kennedy on something Bawumia is said.
The one that made him call Bawumia lies.
Yes,
Bawumia
yes.
looked the face,
Absolutely.
boiled Ghanaians and lied.
Absolutely.
I've never seen a liar like our former flag bearer on air. He's a liar. Say, Educative, one contested because not Oya. This man is a liar. Today, I tell you, he's a liar. You shouldn't vote for a liar. A man who is lying to have power. Wow.
I think from what we saw in the data, that led to his collapse in the poll. Yes. And the response was quite swift. He was doing well, but after that video, we saw his numbers tanking, and it continued till today when we finished the poll. And that is the reason why Brian Achampon is now doing well, and the model says he could do twice what he was doing in the headline poll. And Kennedy has suffered from 32% thereabout to around 28%. Bawumia is around 57%. He hasn't changed since that incident. So what we've seen is that numbers moving from Kennedy to Brian.
Do you see, by any chance, possible Bawumia, Brian ticket?
I don't know what Bawumia wants to do and who he wants to bring, but normally such a ticket are driven by so many factors, including the base that you expect the person to bring. If you look at the last election, he brought Matthew Kuprempe, thinking that he will bring the Ashanti vote. So that's the reason why he was doing that. Brian, I don't know whether Eastern region is huge for MPP. And again, Eastern region is already slipping out of MPP's hands. So you would like to really stick to Ashanti region. I don't know whether the calculus may change down the line. But what we've seen is that he could try Brian, but I don't think would be a very, very strong choice because Brian is not from a very strong hold of the MPP.
Did you say the MPP was slipping in the Eastern region?
Oh, yeah, yes. If there was an election in Ghana today, MPP would lose the Eastern region.
Really?
Yes.
I thought Eastern and Ashanti were like major strongholds. What is causing the Eastern?
No, since the last election, NDC had 48%, MPP 52%. That was the closest election in that election, in any region. NDC had won by a large margin, or lost Ashanti by a decent margin. But in Eastern region, it was almost neck and neck, which means that something had gone wrong in Eastern region. And in recent polling data that we've seen, in terms of even performance of the president, he is approved by nearly 60% or more of Eastern Region voters. And if you look at the party affiliation in Eastern Region, MPP is now 30% party affiliation, NDC 30%, and other 20% are floating voters. So when you are kind of tied on party affiliation, the floating voters normally go to the party seems to be doing well. They don't vote with their heart, they vote with their head. And at the moment, most floating voters are voting for NDC. So that's why if there's an election in Eastern Region right now, NDC will win Eastern Region. Yes.
Wow. Any predictions for the Pandai? You sort of was still so close.
Pandai, if the election is rerun, MPP will lose.
If the election is
rerun,
MPP will lose.
Yes. They had advantage much earlier during the time of the crisis, the issues. But you see, when you are not leading by a gargantuan margin, every day is a problem for you. But the opposition can keep campaigning until they say election time. By that time, you'll be losing. So I believe that if that election is rerun, the sentiment around the country and even Pandai could cause MPP the Pandai seat.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Very interesting. So now looking into your cup, crystal ball, with data, backed by data, generally what you see as a trend Ghana politics is heading towards now? Is there anything like that?
The trend is barring any mess by the NDC. I think NDC is going to win 2028, barring anything stupid on their part. But we also see a trend of where the young people go into politics. I don't know whether it is because of NDC or is the season. We've seen a lot more young people, going into politics, entering politics. And I've also seen a lot of activity happening in the universities, tertiary institutions, among political activities in the universities. And they are always political, they are always MPP, NDC sponsored. If you're able to bring young crop of politicians from that university, decent ones, people who will be truthful to data, people who would engage in decent communication, I think we will be better in the future in breeding a new crop of politicians who will be sensible and be able to really address what we need as a country.
When you say really address what we need as a country, what are the three things you think we need as a country?
Look, first and foremost, the economy is foundation to everything. Once the economy stands on its leg, everything else will fall in place. If you don't have a strong economy, you can't afford good healthcare. And healthcare is one of the important things this country will pay attention to. Because look, once you are sick, you see the value of good healthcare. Your wealth can completely decimate with, hospital healthcare issues. So we really need to take care of people's health importantly. Jobs. The youth is at a point where they are desperate, and the government needs to really look at the job situation very well, create the enabling environment, and let the private sector take lead in employment. I'm hopeful that maybe in the next few years we'll begin to tackle the youth unemployment seriously. Also roads. Roads are quite important in opening up so many things. Accelerate economic development, health improves because of the road, everything was around roads. If we are able to see what we are seeing in the big push happening in the next 2 years, I think we may have we may be in a good place when it comes to roads.
I like when you say, if you're able to keep seeing what we are seeing, are you like many or some Ghanaians who are always on the edge, like on one part there's happiness that, wow, we seem to be going to the right track, but it's like, will this be an day wonder or will this continue?
It's because in the past we seem to be doing well and suddenly we lose track. And it's like the case of second term for presidents. Unfortunately, Mahama's second term is different from the other second terms. For him, he's learned the lesson, he's coming to prove himself. So he has every reason to get things right. If he doesn't, trust me, Ghana will not forgive him.
I think he knows that.
He knows that.
I think he knows that. Very, very, very. Thank you for coming back. You promised to come back when you are ready to put your neck on the line. So, as we conclude, your neck on the line is that Bawumia has won this thing.
He's going to win.
He's going to win.
Yes.
Okay. And by anything, Bernard surprises us
on the 31st of January 2026. It shall be declared that Honorable Kennedy Ohene Ejapon has won.
Today, the angel said, I should tell you face to face that on the 31st of January 2026, the number you picked during balloting that has made this as your symbol after the election, this will be your position.
What will you say? Honestly.
Look, I would rather believe in the data.
Okay.
Yes, because look, I cannot say that for some reason people connived across the entire country to lie to us. We sampled about 10,113 delegates in the last 4 weeks from various locations in this country, 276 constituencies randomly, that we didn't know who they were. We don't know whether they were this until we spoke to them. They cannot have connived, colluded to lie to us.
Data and echo. On that note, folks, we thank Mr. Danka for joining us one more time, this time with his neck on the line. And I want you all to remember the last thing he said, data and echo. And we'll be counting on you for more data as time goes along. But thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
Fantastic. Folks, until we come back your way again soon, data and echo. See you.